When I was younger, I did not stand out on the lacrosse field in any way. I had a terrible shot, I was slow as a turtle, and nobody liked to be on a team with me because I had no skill. That all changed when I was on a team without a goalie. The coach asked us if anybody just wanted to try out the position for the day. Throughout that practice, I had no saves, but I stuck with playing that position. Throughout the rest of the season, I probably made 4 saves in all of the games combined. I was terrible and still did not stand out in any way. One day after practice, I got into my mom's car and she got mad at me. She literally said, "You were a bad goalie." This surprised me a lot because my mom never usually says anything negative to me. Now I know what you all are thinking. You probably think that my mom hates me and has a bad relationship with me, but that is not the case at all. Then I changed where I played lacrosse. My mom still loves me, but I asked her if she regrets yelling at me that night. She says that she does not at all. The reason for this is because I worked my butt off to get better at being a goalie to prove my mom wrong. I worked out a lot over the summer in the weight room and ran around the neighborhood from time to time to help me with my speed. I went to the lacrosse goalie camp in Roanoke College for a week to better my skills. It helped me a lot, and it was a fun experience all around. Is it? It's me, Cam. About a year later, at the beginning of 6th.
I think you have to hit play on them.
What?
Just hit
Hit
play.
the next slide.
Next slide.
About a year later, at the beginning of 6th grade, a spot opened up for a travel team named Next Level that some of my friends played on. I was very skeptical of it, but at school, some of the people that played on the team encouraged me to play. That day after school, I had told my mom that I wanted to join that team. I went to practice, and it was one of the funnest practices that I've ever been to. I still wasn't very good at being a goalie, but it was fun to me. Ever since that practice, I stayed on a team with the same guys. But there's been some bumps and bruises along the way. As I have said, I'm not the best at being a goalie back then, so people at school that weren't even on the team started to bug me about being a bad goalie. I was thinking about quitting the team and sport completely, but I talked to my dad about it, and he said just to move on and avoid them. I taught myself how to block out people who were giving me a hard time. I worked even harder from then on to become a better goalie. I ran outside of school and practiced and trained at home for about an hour after school. I started to work harder at practice and at lacrosse tournaments. Everything that was happening in my lacrosse life was great because I was a good goalie and I was on a team that I loved to play on. During the summer, my mom told me that my team has been bought by a much better and competitive team based out of Annapolis, Maryland. When I came back in the fall, there were some new additions to the team. A new kid who was very good at being a goalie, but not a lot of people liked him. When we went to tournaments, we would get crushed by teams that were nationally ranked, and they started to not be fun to go to. For me, they were not fun to go to because the other goalie played most of the games, and I started to think about quitting the team. Since nobody that was from the original team liked being on that team, we left it. We then made a new team from scratch called 804 Lacrosse. On this team, I was the only goalie, and tournaments actually started to be really fun for everybody. We got new coaches who were the head lacrosse coaches at Randolph-Macon College, and everybody liked having them as a coach. We started to go to more low-key tournaments and actually started to win a lot of games. Then all of a sudden, we switched teams again. This happened because there was a lot of drama between the collegiate kids' parents and the people who organized the team. When fall came around the corner and practice started for this new team called Fusion Lacrosse, we were surprised because everything was the same. Coaches, players, and playing time all stayed the same. A few new kids came, including a new goalie, but he is funny and everyone likes to be on the team with him, including me. Now I love to go to tournaments and love the team that I'm playing. I would not be here if nobody told me the truth. Even if the person being brutally honest to you is someone you are very close to says that you are bad at something. I would have not been playing lacrosse if nobody was honest to me. Thank you.